Alright, it's time for that moment when Common Side Effects Season 1 review. Yeah, so, uh, new-ish show, I guess it's from last year. I'll apologize in advance for any potential background noise. I watched this pretty quickly in a couple days. Um, yeah, so it's a very weird show, and I am a little out of it, but also this show, every character is a little out of it, so maybe that matches the tone. Um, yeah, so basically, spoilers and synopsis. But before then, just saying, highly recommend that you do watch. I don't think I'm gonna rate this super highly, but I think that it's something that, um, if you're okay with some grotesque visuals and things, and um, representations of like hallucinations, which again you can visually see from this cover, so that's not really much of a spoiler, at least for the hallucinations part. Um, and you want a story about a magic mushroom, then sure. Um, yeah, we have this like Reddit Lorian style, like, or visual MC character. There's kind of two main characters, but like it's mostly him in the back. And I will again apologize. I probably will forget a bunch of the names of characters because I know Francis is the girl in the front, and there's Tortoise Man or Turtle Man in the back. Wow, I can't believe he's like the main character, and I can't think of his name right now. Marshall. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, this is a very interesting show. I'd seen the teaser for it forever ago, as it's an Adult Swim thing. I believe Mike Judge is like an exec producer, and he does Beavis and Butthead, which is a very weird connection. But there are lots of adult kind of animated shows like this, and um, even just trying to find the image for this, I've seen that this apparently got really well received, and I'm honestly maybe a bit more mixed than most people on it. I do think it's good, and I will say there are some parts of it that, at least for me, weren't the most um, approachable to watch. um, Putting it lightly. Sorry about that. I had to pause for a second. Um, but yeah, in particular, the last episode was, at least for me in my current state, but maybe just me in general, I'm more sensitive right now to some visuals, and there was some stuff with one of the main antagonists that was a little too much for me. It was more drastically different to me than a lot of the rest of the show. So viewer discretion is advised on that. Um, the execution of it's still good. Like, I don't know. This is one of those things where they're clearly setting up another season. From what I've heard, the season's getting greenlit, so that's cool. And I don't know. I was watching this on HBO, which it's funny. I thought they went to being Max, and then they went back to being HBO. I didn't know that. Very silly. But either way, this is a show that's very. I feel like, to some end, the dialogue is pretty funny, and to some end, it's really not. Um, I kind of like what the setup of some of the characters are, but some of them I really am more mixed on, like the mycologist, Amelia Mushrooms, and those kinds of things. I feel like I'm a little more mixed on just the characters doing what they're doing. It feels a little silly to some extent. Like, why? I don't know. Some of the writing just feels like I can't tell, but something feels off. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how else to explain it. It doesn't always feel super believable in all the character decisions and all the plot. I feel like it's something that I'm just a bit more mixed on. Um, I think having like a magic mushroom that kind of serves as a this over centralizing thing that can basically heal you from everything, but it has drawbacks. But like only one character who used it had like hallucinations to the point of like being miserable, but all these other characters taking it more. And so like the main guy, hallucinates like crazy. The main villain hallucinates like crazy. Was it Backstein or whatever? I don't even remember. It was the wolf. The wolf. It was like Joe the Wolf or something. I'm gonna be super off, but it doesn't matter. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff about if Big Pharma had a med that actually was really good, would it be detrimental? But then the whole bit about actually maybe the med is a bit more complicated and the mushroom is really complicated, right? And a lot of the hallucination sequences that aren't the last one, I actually really like visually. I think they're pretty cool. I like that they're like, oh, this whole alternate universe exists. But to some extent, I don't love that like it's a one-time offhanded mention thing from what I remember of the portal being called the portal, and like they're like, oh, we communicated. It's a little silly. Like I don't know how I entirely feel about the execution of some of these things, but I overall did enjoy the show. I think even if some of it felt a bit telegraphed and some of it felt very weird in a way that I just like, I don't know, it just feels like for something like this feels a bit basic. I did like some of the soundtrack choices. Some of them felt a bit too dramatic for their own. Like they were carrying the scenes. Um, like the stuff in the prison, I feel like only went so far. Like this felt very, I don't know. It just felt off to me. I'm not sure what it is, but um, I feel like it could have had more time maybe. Um, and I don't know. I don't hate it though. I definitely don't hate this. I don't know. Maybe I will have a more refined opinion of it later, and maybe I'm not being fair to the show. I did enjoy it probably more than I would most, but at the same time, that last episode had some stuff I did not like, and across the whole show, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm probably feeling like a 6, to be honest. I feel like my biggest issue right now with the entire show is that I don't know. I don't know that I like a lot of the characters, and I feel like I don't love a lot of the decisions they're making. It's a weird thing, but maybe my opinion will change later, and I will do a revamped what I don't know, a re-review, but or maybe when season 2 happens. But until then, nah, I'm good. And you know that moment when yeah, I'll probably be a bit before my next episode, but um I did have to talk about this because I just finished it.